Welcome, Claudio, to Metalarian Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk to you about Disarmonia Mundi, this new
Likewise.
album, The Dormant Stranger, and more things related to the metal world in general. So we are starting by asking, how are you? How are you doing today? How is the band? How is the band the last couple of years? Because your previous album, called Inferno, was released 10 years ago.
Yeah, seems so. Well, actually, it's been a while, but we didn't take 10 years to make this record. I mean, we recorded a couple of years after Cold Inferno, but then it just took forever to release it. I mean, so many things went away, and as soon as I somewhat understood that we were going to shelve the album for a little bit, I also started my other projects. I mean, in the meanwhile, it's not like I've been sitting idle for 10 years doing nothing. I released 6 records with another band called the Silver Black. I released 2 records with another project called Infernalizers. So basically, just life happened. And as soon as I discovered that we were finally going to release the album, well, just in the meanwhile, I also forgot the songs, to be honest with you, because 10 years is a long time. But
Okay.
as soon as we decided to finally release the album, everything just went, we gathered together everything and just packed everything. Now we're finally ready to release the album, which is good because the people have been complaining about the absence of new music for really a long time. So it feels great, really, to be somewhat back. I mean, we
Mhm.
never left, but it took forever. But sometimes happens. Sometimes life gets in the way in many different ways. So we're finally glad to be back. Let's put it
Mm.
this
Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, that's interesting to know.
way.
Sorry for this. And so now, talking about the composition of these The Dormant Strangers, so when do you decide to start writing songs for this? You said that this album is not
Yeah,
in the door to compose it for more than 10 years. So
yeah.
perhaps you started to compose 2 years ago, 1 year
Yeah,
ago.
we wrote all the songs like it was 2017, 2018 max. I remember recording my vocals in 2018, so it didn't take that much really. The composition in this band is really really fast and quite easy. I mean, Ettore handles me a couple of new tracks, so I can listen to the music and somewhat get inspired and start writing lyrics. Sorry about it. And there it goes for all the records and all the songs on all the albums. It's just like he handles me new music and I write lyrics. And so we got it done pretty quickly. I mean, it was something like 2018 was already written. Everything was already written down.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, and with this new album, we are
Mhm.
returning to, well, now Bjorn is returning into some songs to sing this album.
Hmm.
Because since the beginning it was part of the band as a future member or something.
Yeah.
Because I remember to hear Nebularium when it's released at that moment, then the fragments of the Degeneration, great albums by the way. So,
Yeah.
and what do you decide to bring back Bjorn to in the composition from Disarmonia Mundi?
Well, he's basically always been lingering around. I mean, in some records more than others. I mean, he's always doing some guest vocals here and there, but he's a very busy person, as you can imagine. So sometimes he has more time to work with us, sometimes he has less time. And we write new songs, we basically decide, all right, this song could be a good fit to have Bjorn singing on some parts in it. And sometimes we just decide to keep some songs for ourselves. So it's simply we really had a lot of material this time. We still have a lot of material to release. So as soon as we have this big chunk of material, we just picked up some songs here and there, and we decided that they were a good fit for Bjorn. So some of them are on this new album, and some of them will be, maybe in the next one. Who knows? You'll have to wait and see.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Now, this is your sixth album in your
Mhm.
career. It's a great record by the way because I listened the whole week to do this interview. Great
Oh,
record,
thank you.
great comeback for this. So, but for me it's a great comeback. But usually for the band, is the last album is the best work to date, and that is a common thing in mostly all musicians, mostly all bands around the world. When I ask it if this last record is your best work to date, so if this Dormant Stranger is your best work to date, so what are the reasons to this the Dormant Stranger? It is, well, has the reason to the best work to date.
Well, it's a tricky question. Anyway, well, for me, it's not the new. It's not so new because we wrote it several years ago, so I can listen to it in a sort of perspective, put things in perspective. I think it's a good record. I think it's a really solid record, so a really good song. It's a natural evolution of what we did in the past. Is this the best records ever? Hard to say. I don't know. I just think, it's just like judging your children. You cannot say I like this child more than this other child. So maybe I can say this, my favorite records, if I have to pick one from all of the ones we did so far, is the Isolation Game. I guess this is my favorite personal record out of all the albums that we did with Disarmonia Mundi. But I think we never released a bad album so far. I mean, I know I sound a little bit, I wouldn't say, I think they are all good records. So the most important thing is to be proud of what you put out. And yeah, it's a good record. It's a really solid record, and the songs are cool. So there are some of my favorite songs are on this album. For example, Oathbreaker, I think, is one of the best songs we did ever. So yeah, it's worth listening to.
Okay, okay. All the detail that captured my attention since the beginning is that Disarmonia Mundi. When I try to find shows, live presentation from Disarmonia Mundi, I never find any. So even
No,
now, I tried, I tried to find out very deeply information for another resources, not just only YouTube. So, but I never find it. So, and
no.
why? The band has more than 25 years of existence. So now, what did
Mm-hmm.
you decide since the beginning that this Harmonia band is just only will be just only a
Studio
studio
project.
project?
Yeah. Well, actually, at a certain point after the release of Mindtricks, we somewhat tried to, create a lineup to do some shows and whatnot. But we just didn't find the right people. And after a while, we just got tired of looking for people. I mean, you start to feel somewhat entitled to say, all right, this is our band. It's just the two of us with Bjorn. And, we don't want to share it with anyone else. I think it's a little selfish as well. But we try to, find new people and start to do, live shows and everything, but it just didn't work out. So after a while, we just decided to, okay, all right, let's keep it like a studio project, and that's it.
Hmm. Okay, so and with this topic, did you receive any? Well, now as you can see, Europe has a lot of festivals, has a lot of tours.
Hmm.
Europe works very differently since from the 80s or 90s. Europe has a lot of festivals now. So I just spoke with a lot of musicians and a lot of bands since April to latest August. All the time
Hmm.
there's like 100 festivals around it. 100 festivals in whole Europe. So
Yeah.
with these offers, did you receive any offer to presentation, a live presentation with this Harmonia Mundi, especially with this new album? Because 10 years for a lot
Yeah.
of people is a long time. You said it.
Yeah, I mean, with this 10 years, sometimes it's just the best thing you can do is just disappear for a while. Because I've discovered that after 10 years, people were really waiting for it. So it was a funny thing because we never thought about, just stopping for 10 years. We wanted to do, the original plans were very, very different. But, anyway, yes, sometimes we receive offers to do live shows and whatever, but it would take really, really, really a lot to convince, especially one member in this band to do live shows. So yeah, so far, I guess we'll still keeping the project, the studio project for a while. But never say never. Maybe one day the offer will be just too good to refuse. I don't know. But sometimes we did receive some offers that were interesting enough.
Mhm.
Not so far. We still have to wait a little bit. Maybe in another 10 years, we'll start to do some live shows. Who knows?
Okay, okay. So, oh, the time passed so fast. The band started in
Mhm.
1999. Now we
Yeah.
have more than 25 years of existence.
Yeah,
26.
we're old.
Yes,
I
to
know.
26. 26 now. So, but now there is 4 more years and the bands will accomplish 30 years of existence. So that's an amazing, that's a great point of view. So for these 30
Yeah.
years that are upcoming, so perhaps you think something about this, a special live tour, a gig tour, who knows? Because 30 years not all
I
the
don't
time
know,
to
maybe
accomplish through the years.
we want to maybe remix and re-release some songs from some album. I don't know, we still have to do a lot of projects that needs to be finalized, but I don't know, we will have to think about something because as you said, 13 years is a lot of time and time passes too damn fast. You just don't realize it, but you're really, we'll have to see. But yeah, we don't want to go anywhere soon enough, so we'll still be around for a while. So we'll think about something. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a gig related thing. Maybe we'll just release some unreleased material from the old days, or I don't know. We'll think about something for sure.
Okay, okay. Now, if we now let's speak about you all your songs about this one, the Nevelarium, Mind Tricks, Isolation, Con Inferno, and
Hmm.
this new album. So, if you have one word to describe to describe these six albums, how do you describe it? For example, how do you describe Nevelarium? Nevelarium, I describe it for me, it's like the intensive. Mind
Yeah,
Tricks,
maybe it was progressive,
brutal.
probably. Yeah. The new album, one single words, I think solid. It's a solid record. I mean, it's people are not going to be surprised by what they listen to on the album because we still have the same formula, still have the same style. We don't change style. I mean, there's so many bands that change it sometimes even too much throughout the years. We'll still pretty much sound the same. So I think is if you like melodic death metal, you're gonna like the new album because melodies are there, powerful songs, solid overall. So I would use the word solid.
Hmm. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Now, other point. All I think all many times, as many other interviewers ask you about this. So, what do you decide to band? You said it that you try to find more members
Hmm.
to fill replacements. So, to live presentations or studio members, etc. But at the end, you decide to stay together, just you and Ettore. So, and
Yeah.
this one. So, is there an option for the future? For example, Disarmonia Mundi will recruit more members for the official members?
Maybe. I mean, never say never. So many things change in life, and you just don't decide it, just happen. So who knows? When we tried, just people were not the right choice. But maybe we're gonna meet some new people, and we're gonna finally create a complete lineup. Who knows? I mean, never say never. Let's put it this way.
Okay, okay. Now, well, talking about the promotion of this new album, it's usually now that when you release an album, you will do some gigs, some tours, some
Hmm.
presentation, etc., etc. You know about this. But
Yeah.
now, Disarmonia Mundi is just an studio project. So, what kind of plans do you have for this album? Perhaps you will release more videos, a
Yeah,
documentary,
we want to. Yeah, I
etc.,
want to
etc.
shoot some videos for sure. We're going to shoot a couple of videos for sure in the near future, and maybe we're thinking about some making of, some behind the scenes stuff that people really like to watch what goes on behind the scenes while we record an album, stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to shoot a couple of videos for sure. They're going to be released after the album is out.
Okay, okay. Amazing, amazing. So now, when I hear completely this The Dormant Stranger, one thing that
Mhm.
captured my attention a lot is that you try to be all the time the sound organic. And
Mm.
that is a good thing because as you can see now, all releases in the world has an standardization of the sound. All sounds
Yeah.
perfect, all sounds amazing, great musicians, great coverers, no bad records. And you are coming from the same era like me because I'm 45 years old, so I recognize bad records in the 80s, bad records in the 90s, etc. But now you have 1,000 of releases per year. So, but with this one, never of these 10 well, 1,000 records sounds bad, sounds with errors.
Yeah.
So now, what's your opinion about now the standardization of the sound into the extreme music? Because the metal in general has this standardization of the sound. No bad records, no bad musicians, all is perfect in the record.
Yeah, rewinding sounds is pretty much the same. I mean, if you listen to productions and everything, they just sound the same. So I think it's important to have a sort of signature sound, and people can recognize you by the way you sound. I can understand that a lot of people just don't spend too much time recording albums anymore because, as you probably know, in the last 10 years, just the music business has gone down the drain, and there's no money in this business anymore. So people are just like, all right, let's record everything at home with Pro Tools and whatever, and just add some plugins, and that's it. So that's also because why, everything sounds the same nowadays. But I think it's really important to, back in the days, you had your favorite band and also very personal sound. So we try to have that as well. I think it's really important to own a personal sound, and somebody is going to like it, somebody is going to hate it, but who cares? That's how it goes.
Hmm. Okay, okay. And now, what's your opinion about these overwhelming releases per weekend? As you can see, each Friday we have 30, 40, 50, or I think 60 releases per weekend. For us, that is a media, is impossible. But a few people say that is good for the scene, and other people say that is bad for the scene because you don't have much time to hear any of these 60 releases per weekend. It's amazing. So, what's your point of view about these overwhelming
There's
releases
too
per
many
weekend?
bands nowadays, I guess. I mean, the lifespan of music. I remember when I was a kid, I bought the new albums and I was going to listen to the new albums for really months and just listen to new songs over and over and over and over again. Now, the lifespan of a song is probably just a week. After a week, your new song is already old. So people just don't take time to listen to music anymore. It's just something that has lost a lot of value. So it is not a good thing. I think the streaming services as well somewhat destroyed the business too. Because I mean, it's really nice to be able to listen to everything at once, but at the same time, you just don't appreciate it anymore. You just listen to it a couple of times and don't even take the time to listen to it properly or to understand what you're listening to. So after a while, you just skip every song and just listen in a sort of shallow way, and then you move to something else. So no, I don't think it's a good thing for a thing at all. It's too overcrowded as well. So
Hmm.
I miss the
Okay,
old days.
okay.
An old man
Okay.
talking, and I miss the old days for sure.
Yeah, that is true. And other thing, yeah, and let's changing a little more about changing the subject now. So Italy, for me, Italy it was a great country since the beginning. With it. We are talking about when we talk about the metal industry in general, because
Mm.
since the beginning you have Mordred Rave. You in the 90s you have Rhapsody of Fire, Rhapsody. Then you have Lacuna Coil as a great band, and also all the time Italy has great bands into death metal, especially into the death metal, black, no much black metal, into death metal, thrash metal, or power metal, progressive power metal. All the time, great albums, great bands for now. But one thing that captured my attention all the time is that Italy never had a huge festival. That is curious thing because you have a great bands, but you never had a position like a festival like Hellfest, like the Backend, or festivals and amazing in the world in the other parts of the world. And that is a curious thing because you don't have a great festival that gathered all these amazing bands from your country. So why is
Yeah.
that?
Well, basically, Italy is not a great place to play metal in general. I mean, there's a lot of good bands, but we always try to somewhat be recognized abroad because Italy is just not a place when you become somewhat big playing metal, or there is basically nothing for metal bands here. Really, really few places to play, and as you said, no festivals, nothing. We had for a little bit of time, for a few years, we had a festival, but now it's gone. So yeah, I think Italy is not a great place for metal in general. It's a great place for soccer. It's a great place for other things, but not for metal music for sure. It's a pity because there's a lot of good bands, but you know, just metal is not working in Italy. It never worked. It's not like, and there's a lot of fans as well, but you know, just the infrastructure is not there. So that's it.
Hmm. Okay, so in this situation that the Italy is not the best country for the metal, and that is a curious thing
No.
that you say that because one of the biggest stones into the metal is Rhapsody. Rhapsody has 1,000 of copies in the world. I don't know. I think when I hear for the first time Legendary Tales, then automatically appear with like 1,000 of records, same as the Legendary Tales. All those. Or when Lacuna Coil appears, it's the same. Creates a huge boom in US, in Europe. So great bands and around the world. That's a curious thing. So, and for this kind of situation, do you think that this or the people doesn't understand the metal in Italy has to do with the that that the main Christianity office is in Rome, for example.
No, I don't think so. It's just part of a culture. It's not about church anymore. I mean, we no longer live in the Middle Ages or stuff like that. So it's just because it's not part of the culture of this country. It's a lot of popular music is really big in this country, and a lot of other kind of music and other kind of entertainment. But just metal is not part of Italy. I never saw it as a part of the Italian culture. So nothing wrong about it. I mean, there's a lot of places like Germany or Scandinavia where metal is really a part of a culture. So, for example, in Finland, metal is basically a popular music. So
Yeah.
everywhere you just listen to metal, and you go there and it's like, all right, I'm in Paradise City, basically. But Italy is just not like that, and it's okay. I mean, I get used to it at a certain point. So I don't think it's not even worth changing it. It's just how things are. And, you get used to it. But I don't really think it's about, church or anything like that. No.
Okay, okay. So we are very close to this interview, Claudio. And
Mhm.
now, as we spoke about the standardization of the sound,
Mhm.
as you can also think, let's talk about this main thing that is happening with the social media, especially. Now,
Mhm.
as you can see, Dayside, Pestilence, Kerry King using AI undercover arts. Well,
Mhm.
a lot of new musicians, a lot of great bands are using AI, especially Destruction, Catatonia, My Dying Bride. Great bands into the metal industry are using AI for their videos, for their I don't know, a lot of things. But just the people get mad to if one band using artificial intelligence in their art, just for the videos of the cover art, the people are mad for this one.
Mhm.
But as you can see now, the artificial intelligence is involved in all record of the music because now there is no more effects, there is no more amps to record an album. Now the people just record an album just with plugins, with direct to the console, or downloaded
Yeah.
some effects from the internet. And that is now the technology. Just the people get mad for the what can hear or what they can see. But the people doesn't know that now musicians are not using amps, are not using effects in live presentation. It's not more amps, depends more the producer. So what's your point of view now? So what's your point of view about of this all this situation that the technology brought us now?
Well, I think sometimes people are just stupid for the sake of being stupid. I mean, they just don't understand what's really going on in general. So you cannot find the future. You cannot find the new technologies. You cannot fight, the way the world develops. So, I mean, it's a tricky question as well because I'm gonna offend maybe someone, but things change, the world changes, and there's nothing you can do about it. I think there's going to be more regulations in the future about AI, the use of AI and stuff like that. So it's just really the beginning. But sometimes, take the music business, for example, the streaming services completely destroyed it. I mean, just bands cannot make a living out of music thanks to the streaming services. But people are completely okay listening music to Spotify or whatever. They just don't care if bands are not getting paid. But they really get mad when bands use AI for cover art and stuff like that. This is stupid because it's just nonsense to me. So, I mean, there should be regulations concerning every aspect of, what is ethic to do and what is not ethic to do. But so far, just people randomly decide that it's okay to steal music from a band, but it's not okay for a band to use AI to do a flyer or whatever, which is insane. So I think, again, you cannot find the future and you cannot fight the fact that things are going to evolve and AI is here to stay. So you just get over it. I mean, it's not a big problem if you use it in a decent way, and maybe you also pay, uh, in a certain way, artists get paid if they somewhat feed the AI. It's just they need to implement some sort of regulation for using AI, but this is just the beginning. I'm pretty sure that in the future things are going to change, and hopefully everything is going to be a little bit, well done in a certain way, and people are getting paid as well if they just feeding AI. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm not a person that hates new technology. I try to understand it, which is it's more difficult just to than just hate and say, all right, it's bullshit, all right, and try to understand it, then maybe you can have a point of view.
Okay, okay. Well, Claudio, we arrived to the sad moment of this interview. I hope you enjoyed this interview like me.
Thank you very much.
Your
Yeah,
album is a great album. Congratulations on it. I
thank you
hear
very
it
much.
sometimes. So perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American fans and obviously Metallica followers?
Yeah, sure. I mean, thank all the people that have been waiting for us for the last 10 years. I mean, we received almost every day people complaining about the fact that we were waiting for new music and they wanted more and more. We are really humbled by that. We don't deserve it, really. So I hope that they're going to be happy for a little bit, at least with this new music. And we're not going, we're here to stay. So expect more music from us in the near future. It won't take another 10 years to release a new album. So it's going to take 20 probably. But, thank you very much for supporting us so far. We really don't deserve it, for sure.